In this, the fifth and final reflection on seeing, we will be focusing on seeing as an ethical and pastoral practice. Finally, let's talk about seeing each other not just as a personal or a cultural act, but as a moral and healing act in our communities. There's an ethical dimension to witnessing others that we've already touched on with Levinas. To truly witness someone's life or suffering is not a passive thing. It often calls us to respond, to stand with them in some way. Inversely, failing to acknowledge someone can actually be a form of harm or neglect. Ethicists and social philosophers note that recognition, being seen, is a precondition for justice and equality. Think about social movements. So many of them begin with people saying, "We will not be invisible anymore." Marginalised groups have voiced a simple, powerful demand. See us and hear us. We are fully human and deserve respect. In recent protests, you might have heard phrases like, "We see you, we hear you, and we stand with you." When others chant that, they're essentially performing an act of witness, letting those who have been ignored or oppressed know that their struggle is noticed and shared. In a sense, being seen is being supported. It's much harder to mistreat or ignore people once you truly see them and empathize with them. On a more everyday level, being an ethical witness can mean not looking away when someone is suffering or being mistreated. There's a line in the Bible's Good Samaritan story that says, "When he saw the wounded man, he had compassion." When he saw the wounded man, he had compassion. The story contrasts this with others who literally passed by without seeing the injured man on the roadside. The lesson? Seeing is the first step to compassion. Seeing is the first step to compassion. We can ask ourselves, who in my daily life might be feeling unseen? Is it a colleague who always is quiet in Zoom meetings? The neighbor who lives alone? The student in class who never speaks up? Sometimes bearing witness starts with them simply noticing. "I see that you're having a hard time," or "I see you are sitting alone. Would you like to join us?" These small gestures carry a big message. You're not invisible. Your life matters to me. In fields like healthcare and pastoral care, this idea is taken very much to heart. Doctors are learning that treating a patient as a whole person, not just a chart or a diagnosis, improves outcomes. One medical program teaches narrative medicine, encouraging doctors to truly listen to patients' stories. Teaches narrative medicine. Why? Because a patient who feels seen and heard is more likely to trust the doctor and follow through with treatment. It's both ethical and effective, seeing the person, not just the illness. In spiritual caregiving, such as chaplaincy, they talk about the ministry of presence. A hospital chaplain might not be able to cure a dying patient, but by sitting at their bedside, listening to their fears and hopes, the chaplain is performing an act of holy witnessing. Often the chaplain will say, People might not remember what you say, but they remember that you were there. Just being there, fully present, fully seeing the person in front of you, tells the suffering person, you are not alone. I'm here with you, and I see what you're going through. That alone can alleviate the existential loneliness that comes with pain or dying. There's a term in caregiving called holding space. It means creating a safe, non-judgmental space for someone to express themselves. I love the definition I once heard. Holding space is basically holding someone in your compassionate sight, allowing them to be exactly as they are and acknowledge their reality. Sometimes we worry, I don't know what to say to you or to someone who's hurting, but often we don't need the perfect words. A sincere, I am here with you. I see how much this hurts, can be more healing than all the silver linings and advice in the world. We must have the courage to witness pain without running away from it. It's not always easy, but truly seeing someone's grief or struggle can make us feel uncomfortable or helpless. But the act of staying present is a profound gift. It tells the person, I won't abandon you on this. You are seen, and you don't have to carry this alone. One chaplain described moments of listening to patients' stories as standing on sacred ground. Here I'm thinking of Karen Scheib as well. Feeling that in truly witnessing someone, I too am healed by this connection. That's the mutual grace of genuine seeing. It heals the viewer and the viewed. In conclusion, if we reflect on the power of witnessing each other, we've journeyed from a mother's gaze at a newborn through existential philosophy, through therapy rooms and cultural wisdom, to the quiet work of compassionate witnessing. The thread running through all of this, we need to be seen. We need to be seen. We need our lives, our joys and sorrows to be witnessed, to know that we do not walk alone. When that need is met, I can affirm our very existence. When it's denied, the hurt goes deep. The wonderful truth is that each of us has the ability to offer this gift to others. We don't have to fix people's problems or have all the answers. We just need to show up with open eyes and an open heart. We need to dare to say, I see you. In doing so, we might just change a life, including our own. So I invite you to reflect, who in your life could you truly see today? Perhaps it's someone you've taken for granted, or someone you've disagreed with, or even a stranger you pass by. What would happen if you really paid attention, asked a sincere question, or offered a word of acknowledgement? You might be amazed at the connection and healing that can flow from such a simple act. In the Zulu language, when someone says, Sawubona, I see you, the response, Ngikhona, I am here, means I'm here because you see me. Each of us can be that validating presence for somebody. Each of us can mirror back to others that they matter. In a world where so many feel unseen or disposable, let's be the ones who look them in the eye and say, you are not invisible. I see you, and you are not alone. Imagine the impact if we all practice this a bit more in our families, in our workplaces, in our communities. We might discover that the simple act of witnessing each other is in fact not so simple. It is transformative. It is what turns loneliness into belonging, shame into acceptance, and strangers into brothers and sisters. As we leave here today, that is my challenge and my hope, that we may all learn to see and be seen. Because to be seen is to be truly alive. And each and every one of us deserves that grace. Thank you. I see you.